G'day Gut Gang. Today's video we are making raw milk yogurt that is GAPS approved, and we're going to make it in an instant pot. Before we jump into it, little disclaimer. Alright, now that that's out of the way, yes, we are making raw milk yogurt, and this is part of the GAPS diet protocol in order to rebuild the microbiome, add a lot of good bacteria into the body to help with the gut healing process. Now, this is something that I wish I would have added earlier in the process with my gut healing, but I'm actually finally able to tolerate, my little helper today. One of the goals with the GAPS diet is to slowly introduce foods as your body is able to tolerate, and one of the most important things being fermented kefir or fermented yogurt. Wash my hands because of the cat. Now, I don't recommend introducing dairy unless you've gone through the proper dairy introduction guide as per the GAPS book. After several months, almost a year, I finally felt comfortable to start introducing yogurt. Also because it was kind of in the too hard basket for me. And then when I finally started making the fermented dairy, fermented yogurt, I feel like it took my healing to a whole other level. When I try this stuff and when I eat it, it is like I get this huge endorphin dopamine hit. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. On the GAPS diet, you don't want to just straight out eat yogurt unless you can tolerate dairy, but if you're sensitive like me, you can't actually do normal traditional yogurt. So there are two things that people do when they are on GAPS. One is they'll buy yogurt and then they'll leave it on the counter for 24 hours, and that will help with continuing the fermenting process. The best thing to do is actually to create your own yogurt from raw milk, or if you don't have access to raw milk, then you would use unhomogenized milk that you would get from the store, preferably organic. In Australia, raw milk is illegal to sell for human consumption. You will have to go to your local health food store or your local organic store or farmers markets, have a chat to them there, ask for some bath milk. So you are using raw milk at your own risk, and I'll make another video about raw milk another time. So basically you're adding 4 tablespoons of yogurt, bunch of raw milk, and then you want to keep it at a certain temperature for about 24 to 27 hours. The best way for me to monitor having a certain temperature, I felt, was having an instant pot. I think it was under $200. If you don't have one, then I will make a non-instant pot recipe another time. Let me know if you're interested. But for now, this is the easiest way. It's set and forget. It keeps it a stable temperature. It's worthwhile because you can make other things in the instant pot as well. So what you'll need is raw milk, some full fat organic yogurt with no sweeteners, and an instant pot. Let's get into it. Oh, and a jar. I'm not an expert or professional in this at all. I'm still figuring stuff out as I go. This is what is working for me. Do everything I say at your own risk. The first thing we'll do is we're gonna grab some yogurt. So this is the one that I used for the first time I made this yogurt, and it did the trick. So we're gonna add a couple of tablespoons of that. See, for me, I can't actually eat this normal yogurt on its own, but when I do it the GAPS way, I can tolerate it, and I can have half a cup, maybe more, and it does not affect me at all. In fact, I feel great taking it. All right, so now you've got about 4 tablespoons in there, and we are going to add the raw milk. So you want to shake it, make sure it is all mixed around with that cream. I like to use a brand called Cleopatra's bath milk for cosmetic use only, because this yogurt I'm actually only using for a bath. So this is about 1 liter, a 1 liter jar or 1 quart, and we're going to put about 900 mils or so in there, and you want to leave about 1 inch at the top. I don't know what 1 inch looks like, but you know, approximately that. And now what we do is we just mix this through. Make sure you stir this so it's very well mixed together. So you can see that's well mixed together. We're just going to chuck that lid on. Get a good mason jar is ideal. And then we're going to whip out the instant pot. Again, highly recommend this, very versatile tool. Another word for it is pressure cooker or something like that. So obviously the settings are going to be different on the different pressure cookers you use, but this is how I use it with this instant pot. So we're going to open that one up, and you'll see that there's like a little thingy, you know, that you put it on. There are a couple of different ways of doing it. You know, you can pour the milk and the yogurt directly into the container here, but I'm using the mason jar method just because that's the first way that I learned to use it, and I could not be asked, you know, pouring it into the bowl, figuring out a new method. Again, don't fix something if it ain't broke, but I know of a lot of people that just pour it straight into there. So we're gonna give this little catcher on there, and we're gonna put this guy right into there. And now we are going to close it up. All right, we get that lid on, and here there's a little thing that says venting. So we want to keep the venting on. We don't want to pressure cook this at all. We just want to use this as a vehicle for consistent heat when we're making this yogurt. On the front here, you'll see there's a few options. We're actually just going to hit yogurt. By the way, if you are using pasteurized milk, this is not the video for you. There is a different way of doing things with the pasteurized milk. I recommend buying the books GAPS Stage by Stage. That explains everything very perfectly. And if you want me to make another video on making pasteurized GAPS yogurt, then I can do that for you as well. With the pasteurized milk, you want to heat it to a certain point. With the raw milk, you don't need to heat it to a certain point, which is kind of weird, but that's what the book says. For further information, you can reference this book, and this book. This is where I'm getting a lot of the recipe for, but with an Instant Pot kind of version. Okay, now that we have got the Instant Pot, we're gonna hit the yogurt setting, and we are going to crank that up to 24 hours. And then you just leave it until it makes a beeping noise. So, the yogurt is now being made. I'm currently passively making yogurt, and while this yogurt is being made, I can make my meat stock, I can focus on creating other meals, and it's a really great thing to regularly keep going, having on the go, because as you've seen, it's a very simple process. Took me a couple of minutes to set up, and then you've got your yogurt going. While that's doing its thing, I just want to talk about the length of time that you use to ferment dairy products. Now again, I'm still learning. I feel like a beginner with this fermentation process, DIY. I made a batch that was 24 hours and it was actually extremely tart, quite strong. That was because it fermented too much or too long, too quickly, because of the temperature, the weather at the moment, summer here in Australia. And so if it's warmer, it can ferment quicker. If it's cooler, it can ferment slower. So my son didn't like it. It was too strong for him. I liked the tartness and it felt really good in my body. But what we did was we did a 12-hour version, half as long, and it tasted like normal, delicious raw milk GAPS yogurt. The 24-hour is great. I'm gonna do a 24-hour version this time. That's gonna take 24 hours. You know what won't take 24 hours though? Hitting the like and subscribe button. All right, so it has just ended. What we're gonna do is we're gonna open her up. As you can see here, we've got our yogurt going. It is very melty though. We've got a nice layer of thick cream on top, and it's very, very liquidy. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna put that into the fridge for a couple of hours to see how it goes. All right, so the yogurt has been sitting in the fridge for a while, and now we are gonna test it and see how good it actually is. If you have a look here, it's very, very thick, which is a good sign. You don't want to water it at all. Check this out now. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Look how thick that is. Just gonna mix that all around. The most important thing though is of course the taste test. So let's see how this is. Delicious. Tastes just like yogurt. Tastes like a good old GAPS raw milk yogurt. Enjoy it. Let me know if you end up making this. I'd be really curious to see how it goes for you. And please subscribe because I'm making more videos on this channel. And I have another video here that you might like. And in fact, there's also another video here that you might like too. I don't know, see how you go.